showtime! Woo! 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 Silent and profiling. Woo! It's live and in color. Woo!
Welcome to the Mafia Sports Report. I'm your host, Tommy, and next to me is a pissed off Mikey, not happy about the Buffalo Bills 2023 draft. And I'm going to start with him because I'm sure he wants to go on a little rant. So go for it, Mikey.
Okay, I'm not going to rant. I'm just going to say how I see it, okay? We drafted 6 players. I'm excited about 1.
Yikes.
Other than that, if they have a plan, which I pray to God the people at One Bill Drive have a plan on what they're trying to do, I see our second-round pick as the only one to truly get excited about. We got a tight end who's more of a big slot receiver, so maybe that's where we play him. Great. We moved up and used the 4th-round pick to move up 2 spots to get a big giant slot receiver. Wonderful.
Right.
Okay. Second round, we grabbed Osiris Torrance, which I think is the best guard in the draft. Super excited about that. 3rd round, we drafted a outside linebacker. Okay. Brandon Bean comes out and says, we're going to start him at outside. Wonderful. Guess what? You just drafted a guy for the 2nd year in a row, by the way, because we drafted an outside linebacker last year too, who plays special teams in the 3rd round for 4 years to have cost-controlled backups, because we just signed our starting outside linebacker to a 5-year extension.
Right.
What the fuck are we doing? Why are we drafting special teams backup linebackers in the 3rd round?
Twice in a row.
Okay.
Too, by the way.
2 years in a row. 2 years in a row. You know, so now those 2 are going to battle out to see who the backup is. So we just wasted a 3rd-round freaking pick. Okay, fine. Let's go in. Let's go into the 5th round, because we don't have a 4th round because we moved up for our big tight end. That's not a tight end. Then we have Justin Shorter. We draft this big, giant, 6'4", 230-pound wide receiver out of Florida that had 0 fucking production in college. He is all prospect, all high ceiling, super low floor. When you had an A.T. Perry who's 6'4", who has college production, you have a Parker Washington who's smaller but is way better route runner. But he's throwing, he's throwing his hook in the water, bought a scratcher trying to hit a home run. Fine. The dude looks like a bodybuilder. Woohoo! Yay! When is he going to get on the field? We had Isaiah Hodgins sitting on the practice squad for 4 years. Okay.
Yeah.
Then we come back and we trade. We have guys on the board. We have D linemen on the board. We have better linemen on the board. We have, edge rushers on the board that we can take. And we trade back twice for 2 6th-round picks next year.
Right.
And he comes back in the 7th and grabs a short arm, multi-positioned player who's just going to be a practice squad player.
Nick Broker.
Right. Out of Mississippi.
Mm-hmm.
He has tiny arms. So he can't play tackle. He's got to play
he's
interior.
Big guy. He's a big guy too, by the way. Like it's weird. Like he's not like a small guy.
This is Tenuta all over again.
Yeah.
This is Tenuta all over again.
Yeah.
And he never made, we cut him and he got picked up by somebody else. Great. We wasted another draft pick. And then we drafted corner Alex Austin out of Oregon State. Why didn't we just not trade back and grab guys who actually have a shot at making this fucking roster?
Right. Kobe Trice would have been interesting, by the way.
He would have been awesome.
Yeah.
You want to go with another lineman? Andrew Voorhees was on the board earlier. We could have grabbed him. He was hurt this year. We could put him on IR and stashed him as a redshirt year.
Yeah.
I just don't understand the plan. What was the plan here? I can't see it. I just can't see.
I said Kobe. I meant Corey Trice. Yeah, I don't hate the draft. I don't hate this draft. Like, so
what excites you out of this draft?
Okay, so clearly Osiris Torrance for me is the number.
Oh, yep, me too.
Because I was screaming for him, right? Like, and it came true. It was the first time I think in a long time that I wanted a guy and they took him. You know what I mean? Because we all do our mock drafts. We have our guys that we just fall in love with, and it's very rare it happens, right? Very rare does your team. I'm talking about any team, like where you're like, I want this guy. It usually just doesn't happen, right? And it happened, and I was like, oh, I couldn't believe it, right? I was worried it wasn't going to happen. I'm shocked that it did because he kind of slipped. He did slip. Now, obviously, we talk about Kincaid. Listen, at first, I was disappointed, and not disappointed in the player. We talked about this. I was more disappointed in we had more bigger needs to fill. 1, 2, we gave up just to move up 2 spots. We gave away a 4th, which Bean's been doing. Bean's been really good at those mid-round pick, 4th, 5th round. Then he just gave it away to move up 2 spots to take a guy that may not even be used correctly. So that's the part that's frustrating because if our offense was based, if we used our tight end correctly in the past, then I would be probably more for it. But listen, I'm still holding on hope that they have a plan in. Okay, that Dorsey has a better plan going into the 2023 season, and this is why they took him. We talked about it yesterday. He's going to line up in a slot. He's going to be more of like a receiver / tight end rather than a tight end / receiver. He did have the best hands in college football. There's a lot of positive to take from that pick. He's not a very good blocker, but I don't think they intend on using that. Now, when we came back and we drafted Osiris, it kind of eased that off that first round pick for me. Then I was like a little happier with that, taking that pick. But I still say, will they use him? That's the problem, right? Will he be a wasted first round pick because we don't know what to do with him, or we don't know how to properly use him? So, but we'll see. That writing's on the wall there. But I don't mind the player. Like I think the player. I don't think they saw him slipping that far, so we kind of got a steal there. A lot of people liked him.
I don't disagree with that.
Chris Sims was in love with that dude. A lot of people had him in the top 10. So for us to get him at 25, I'm not going to hate the pick, okay? I can't hate it because it's still a steal at 25, right? Like, regardless if there was better, bigger needs, at that time. I almost feel like Brandon Bean said, damn, dude, I can train down at this point, but I got a guy that's a top 10 talent. And if I get away from him, it'd be kind of dumb. I mean, I'm just thinking how he's thinking, and I could be wrong. I'm just throwing that out there. Then we go to Dorian Williams. Once again, I have no idea what they're doing. I don't get it. Undersized linebacker, not a middle linebacker. So what's the point? He's going to wind up playing probably special teams, and I don't even know what kind of special teams he did in college. He may not even be a special team player.
He's a huge special team player.
Okay, then hear me out on that then. So because I don't know much about him, I just know he's undersized. I read a couple. So if he's a big special teams guy, maybe he could be our special teams guy in the future when we go out and get rid of some of the other guys that
we're using
special teams.
I know, I get it. Special teams.
I don't like it. I'm not saying I agree with the pick. I'm just throwing. I didn't even know he was a special. I don't like it. I think we could have went somewhere else, different direction. Or if they didn't like anybody there, I wouldn't mind trading back at that point. You know what I mean? Because you could have got more at that point for your 3rd round than your 6th. All these 6 rounds that he was trading back. That made no sense, right? Unless they're building a package up. And they're just going to throw all these useless 6th round picks away for a player, right? Maybe. I doubt it. We talked about this. He doesn't trade for players often, but maybe. But I don't like the pick regardless. He could have traded down if he didn't like anybody there, and got probably a third round, a late third round, and a fourth round. Got our fourth round back, right? But he didn't do that. He took that guy, and then we went ahead and got Justin Shorter. Now, listen, Justin Shorter is interesting for me, and I told you I'm going to do a video on him. But he has an upside. He does. But he also has big question marks and big red flags. The biggest red flag to me is that he's been injured ever since he touched the field into college. He's never been healthy, ever. That's not good. That's a bad sign. He was a top recruit. He was the number 1 in 2018 coming out wide receiver. So he was a dog in high school, clearly, right? You're not going to be a top recruit for nothing. But he didn't do anything, winded up getting cut, I believe, by the Nittany Lions. Then he went ahead and went to Florida. And I thought, looking at his stats, I actually thought he came around because if you look at, he did 550 yards last year, and the year before, I believe he had, 4 something.
200 something.
Yeah. So, I mean, those aren't unbelievable, but his numbers did improve. But once again, he got hurt. He got knocked out of a game. It was a really nasty injury. It was like, I don't know, it was a concussion or something, but ambulance came, all that. So he just seems like he may be fragile. And in the NFL, being fragile, not a good thing. So
6'4", 230, and he's fragile.
He's fragile. But let's see what happens. You never know. There's been guys that, maybe our conditioning staff, maybe he gained some. I don't know. I'm hoping.
I don't need him getting any more weight.
But,
if he gets any bigger,
well, maybe not weight, but just conditioning. Maybe they figure it out. I don't know. But he does have upside. He's tall. He's aggressive. He's gotten better at catching. Catching hard to get ball, going into his route. So he has upside, and maybe that's what Bean saw on him. I like his height extremely. Finally, we got a tall receiver, but can he be used? Will we use him? I don't know. We'll see when a camp comes along. What the reports are. We'll see when preseason comes. How if he's dropping passes, if he's getting hurt already, you will know right away. I think with him. Then moving on, then we got Nick Broker, which we just talked about. Once again, they're going with a guard who has extremely short arms, which is not good for an offensive line to have. So that just tells me right there, this is a waste of pick. This will be a guy that will probably be cut or go to the practice squad and then wind up being cut anyways because we'll have to make room for somebody else. And so he's a waste of pick. And then Alex Austin, I mean, a guy that it doesn't do anything for me. I mean, I like his size, 6'1", 195. So he's a bit of a taller corner. But other than that, man, graded very low. A guy that probably won't make the team. So it's a waste of pick. But he is a 7th round. You can't really complain on 7th round. It is what it is there. But I would say for me, the disappointing picks, not so much the 7th rounds, because it is what it is there. But to me, Dorian Williams is the biggest standout here. Because once again, it's a guy we have no use for right now. He's except for I guess you said he's a special team player, but who cares? You're taking a third round.
So is Bernard.
Right. That's my point. So why would you do that once again early on? You're telling me you couldn't. You're telling me even if you wanted Dorian Williams that bad, that he wouldn't be available possibly later on. There was a lot of guys that slipped, and who cares if he was taken? It's not. You know what I mean? How high did you have him on the board? I saw a lot of people had him in the 4th round. Some people had him in the 5th. So I don't know if we reached. I don't know if I don't understand the pick. Is that a McDermott pick, you think, more? Because McDermott likes special teamers. Now that you tell me he's a special team guy, I mean, it's very possible.
I have no freaking clue. Can you see the comments on your end? Because I can't, but there's a bunch in the YouTube chat.
There was no comments here, guys.
There's actually people in there chatting, but I just can't see them.
No, I don't see any comments.
Yeah,
on my end.
But if you go to our YouTube channel, there's a bunch.
All right, you're gonna have to. Yeah, maybe this thing's. We're using a new streaming service, guys, and maybe it's a glitch because right now, nothing. Can you respond, Mikey? Because I can't. Then I can't.
Yeah,
I mean, I don't see it here.
I pulled it up.
Let me write something here.
See if it even comes up.
I just wrote sorry, guys.
I will. So. Chewy tells me to let it marinate, and I will, Chewy. I'll let it marinate. This is just after the draft. Right. Directly after the draft, knee jerk reaction.
Do you see my chat, by the way?
No.
I just wrote nothing. Okay.
No, not on our screen.
No, I mean on the YouTube. Do you see me typing back? Just curious.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
I see it on YouTube. I just don't see it on the screen here.
Yeah, it's really weird, bro, huh? Yeah. I don't know, guys. Sorry. I don't know. I don't know what to tell you. I don't know what to tell you. It's just not even. The technology, guys. Technology.
Yeah. I'll keep it up and see if I can find some.
Yeah.
So just so you know, Tommy, the people that we have in there is our normal folks. Bill's 1970s here. Joey Hatch is here. Beth is here. Chewy's here.
Okay.
Triggs is here. Melissa's
appreciate
here.
y'all, man. Sorry, man. Sorry about that.
Sorry we can't pull you guys up onto the screen.
I have no idea why. It's the first time it's done that, so
who knows. But anyways, I'll get the Dalton Kincaid thing I'll get over. If they use him right, he's a good pick. He's a weapon.
Right.
Osiris Torrance, I absolutely love that pick. The rest of it, I feel like we just flushed the picks down the toilet. I just don't understand it. They must have some kind of plan. I just can't see what that plan is.
Right.
At all.
Yeah. I don't know. I listen, I gotta say though, I don't hate the draft some. I don't I like 2.5 players.
Yeah, you like our first, our second, and our fifth.
Halfway. Right. Half our fifth. Like so
I just last year when we took late round picks and we took, Benford. I saw a path for Benford. I saw what he had. I liked the pick. I'm looking at Broker and I'm looking at Austin and I'm like, these guys don't stand a flipping chance to make our roster.
Yeah. Yeah.
What was the point of it? I mean, other than camp bodies.
That's maybe what it is. It's very possible what it is. Like, even with the shorter pick, it's like I thought we weren't going to draft a receiver, especially like if they're going to use Kincaid as kind of a receiver anyways, receiver / tight end. So why, like, it just didn't make sense, because what are you going to do with Shorter now? Like, you know what I mean? Like, he's going to wind up on a practice squad, bro. There's no room for him. Like,
he's Isaiah Hodgins.
There's no room for him. There's just no room for him right now. And I don't even know what you would do with him, even if you can't. There's no way they're going to address that many receivers, especially if you're going, because you're going to play Kincaid Kincaid's going to be basically receivers. That's my point. So you can't. Yeah. I just don't see I don't understand it, and unless they're just trying, like you said earlier, trying to hope that it's like a golden, like a player that they drafted that they just got lucky with. You know what I mean? Like, they're going to stash him away, hope nobody takes him, which probably nobody will, right? It's 6th round, right? And
so I want to hit Joey's comment here.
He says, go ahead. I can't see any of them.
Yeah, he says we couldn't stop the run with Edmonds. I don't see how we're going to stop the run with the linebackers that we have on our roster now. The issue with stopping the run isn't so much our linebackers. It's our D line. It's our D tackles. That's where we truly stop the run. But the problem is we couldn't stop them last year, and we brought back the exact same set this year with no upgrades or no additions whatsoever. So my guess is with us going mostly offense this draft, they're buying into the philosophy that they're like, screw it, we're gonna just keep up with us. Scoreboard. Because what else are you going to do? I mean, we didn't upgrade our defense at all.
No, we did nothing.
We replaced Tremaine Edmonds and brought back Klein, and Klein right now is probably our starter at middle linebacker.
The only thing I can think of is they're hoping maybe for some cuts, or some late trades. I know you mentioned Bush.
Yeah.
It's very possible, right? You know how it is. Sometimes teams make some cuts,
yeah.
and they could pick up some players. Maybe they didn't see anybody they loved in this draft. Maybe that's why they winded up trading back a gazillion times, right?
Trade back in the third. Don't trade back in the fucking sixth.
We talked about that. Why wouldn't you, if you would have traded? I believe if you would have traded back in the third, you probably got a third in return and a fourth, right? I mean, it's usually how it works, a fourth or fifth, and there you go. Then you got something to work with, and you got a little bit better talent on the board. Who cares? 6th round, 7th round is a crapshoot, bro. It just is. Like, there's not a lot of guys there available. So who cares about trading back? Why would you pile up? Not only pile up on 6th round picks that don't even are for next year. It doesn't matter right now. Do nothing for us.
None of that. Triggs comes in and says, what confuses me is Hutchinson. Xavier Hutchinson was on the board when we selected Shorter.
I know.
Who has size and has way more college production. Shorter was projected to go in like the 7th. We took him in the freaking 5th.
Yeah.
I mean, let's be honest though. This draft was odd. You had guys who were, like freaking Whippler didn't go until like late mid 6th round, and he was a 3rd round grade for most people, with most draft pundits, not team offices. So there's all kinds of weird stuff. Parker Washington was there as well. He's not a big guy, but he had way more college production and is a really good receiver. I don't understand what we're doing. Like, you look at this draft, Tommy, I'm going to pull this up.
Yeah, go ahead.
You look at this draft. What excites you about this list of 6 guys?
Well, I mean,
this guy right here excites the hell out of me. If we figure out how to use him, this guy could be good.
Yeah, how I feel. How I feel about Torrance. That extremely excites me, right? Kincaid, it does, because I know the kind of player he is and what he could be. It's just, can we use him? Will we use him correctly? That's the problem. That's the big question mark, I think, on everyone's mind. But listen, Bean is telling you this is what the plans are for him. And if that comes to fruition, then he will be a solid player. But if they don't, right, or if they use him very limited, then it's a total waste of a pick. It's a waste of a pick. Now, the rest of the guys, once again, so from that point on, though, not a good draft.
And we don't know what these guys are. They're all lotto tickets,
They are. I mean, a guy, listen, there could be a guy like that could surprise you. Benford came out of nowhere for us last year. I had no expectations for him, to be honest with you, and he wound up being a very good player. But who knows, man? Who knows?
Yeah. Triggs comes in and says, what is it with Bean and the wide receivers who lack separation and limited route runners? Shorter's just a bigger Duke Williams, Kelvin Benjamin. But they said the same thing about DK Metcalf. They said he was a one-trick pony.
They did. But Kelvin Benjamin, you can't compare him. Kelvin Benjamin had no work ethic. He was gained mad weight. Yeah. This guy is not like I don't see this guy gaining.
You want to call it, and Duke Williams was different too.
And Duke Williams he was older.
He had problems. Yeah.
He was older when we got him. One. Mm-hmm. He actually was a very good college player, Mikey. But then he had off-field
until he got kicked off team.
Right. And then he wound up in the CFL where he really did good. Mm-hmm. Like he was like, I think their top player in the CFL. Then we wound up getting him. But at that point, at the stage of his career, he was on the older side. And not only that, we had a decent receiving core. We were starting to build that up with John Brown, Cole Beasley. We just couldn't. There was no room for Duke. I like Duke though. I did. I think if we would have got Duke younger, maybe it would have worked out a little bit for a couple more seasons for him, like another additional season. But older player. But I don't think this is like a Duke situation. My concern for this guy really is just the biggest concern is his injuries, his history. I mean that's a huge red flag, man. Because even if this guy's legit, like he winds up working hard, he's catching everything, and he just can't stay healthy, then once again, what's the point, right?
Yeah.
And got to be on the field.
Chuckles comes in and says he was the highest rated receiver coming out of high school. Yeah, because he was in that same class as Jamar Chase and Jalen Waddle. But there's a lot of guys who are come out that are 5-star recruits and are top, high school prospects that don't ever do anything. Who just, they peak in high school. They don't get better in college. And Shorter is truly what you call a lottery ticket. He has all kinds of special potential inside of him. However, we have yet to see it consistently. So I feel bad for Broker and Austin and Dorian Williams. I like Dorian Williams' tape. And I think Dorian Williams could be a really good outside linebacker in this league, but he's blocked by Matt Milano. I feel bad that I'm crapping on that pick because the guy is actually a really, really solid outside linebacker. He'd be really good in this league. He's just blocked by an all-pro.
Right. Exactly. And they're not going to move Matt Milano to the middle.
No.
It's not going to happen. So
they're not.
So why? So once again,
I feel bad. Yeah. So I feel bad crapping on like the Dorian Williams pick because it's not Dorian Williams' fault. No, if you watch his tape, he's actually got really good tape. And he'd be a fantastic. I think he has a chance to be a really good starting outside linebacker in this league. He's just, there's just no path for him to have playing time unless Milano gets hurt.
Right. Which we
don't want.
Fairly healthy, right? Right. And he's been fairly healthy throughout his career. Yeah. So it's just he's. I once again, I just feel like it's a wasted pick. It's a wasted pick. It's the second year in a row we've had a wasted pick. I don't even listen. Besides the Williams one, if you go down, the rest don't bother me. Honestly, they don't. Like they're not. It is. Listen. The 7th round picks, they are what they are. The 7th round picks, right? The chances you got to get lucky in the 7th round and get a player and score on a 7th round player that winds up working out. And we've had that, by the way. We've had guys that worked out in the 7th round, but it's very few, right? Fine. I'm going to just scratch. Yeah, Dane Jackson, exactly. And I'm just going to scratch that. So 6th round is a little weird because there was guys, Corey Trice, Luke Weipler, that we could have drafted that could have been that useful for this team. So why trade down?
Ronnie Hickman. There was a bunch of people still on the board.
What's his name? Ojamo, whatever his name was. The DE.
Yeah. Both of the Texas D linemen, the D end and the D tackle. Coburn was on the board still when we went to go pick. Coburn ended up going to the freaking Chiefs. Just like Jesus.
Yeah, so,
and you wonder what really pisses me off on top of all of that? I'm watching the draft. I'm watching us take these guys, and the fucking Eagles trade for DeAndre Swift.
Oh, Moro Ojamo. So he went in the 7th round, and we just missed him. Like Corey Trice went in the 7th round to Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh had a great draft, by the way. Pittsburgh had a really, really good draft. Like that, they drafted really smart, man. I just don't understand the piling up 6th round picks for next year. I don't, unless there's a plan to trade them.
I don't get that
either. It makes no sense.
But what did you think about that? What did you think about that, Tommy? When you're sitting here and you're watching us take these guys and that just seem to be like waste of a picks, and all of a sudden it comes through that the Eagles have made a swap for pennies to go get DeAndre Swift.
Yeah, I know.
It just makes me remember that we have a GM who just refuses to freaking pull the trigger on players.
Listen,
so I
guys,
didn't have a good
I told you.
weekend. I did not have a good weekend. I had a ton of fun.
It
I
was
had a ton of fun
disappointing.
on our 2 days.
Yeah.
I did.
Yeah.
It was so much fun sitting around talking football for 2 days with you and all our guests
Yeah.
and the chat. That was so much fun. But I'm sitting here looking at what our haul was, and I'm just so unimpressed.
Yeah.
I'm
As of
hoping
right
and I'm
now,
pulling for all these guys, but
exactly. You have to because we're diehard Bills fans, right? And you know, I'm happy for anybody that's a Buffalo Bill. And by the way, you know, Justin Shorter is our tallest receiver, and his name is Shorter. It's kind of funny, but he actually had some really, really nice things to say about Josh Allen. Like he talked a good game.
he knows where
that
his
was really
bread's buttered.
yeah. But I like that. Like honestly, like he seems like a good kid. You know, but we'll see. But you're right. Like this might have been the worst Bean draft as of now.
Late
Okay,
round.
that
late
doesn't
round
mean these
draft.
guys won't. No, I'm talking about
Late
almost
round.
in general, man. Because we listen. You're already saying there's a question mark on our first round pick. That's if we use him correctly.
Not the player in general.
No, not the player.
Just
I'm talking about
yeah.
the pick. The pick, right?
Yeah.
Like who, you know, so that is a question mark because we don't know how they're going to use them, if they're going to use them correctly or not. So that's a little scary, right? Torrance, great pick. Awesome. I've been screaming for it for freaking since 2018, right? The rest, bad. Go back to 2018, his draft, 2019, 20. He's had pretty decent drafts, even late in the mid round. He's
he's missed on guys, but he's always hit on a couple.
But we never went out of a draft going, ugh. Like this is the first one, I think.
I mean, last year at the end of the draft, we're like, what the hell they do? But we were so excited because we ended up getting Shakir in the 5th. So like, yes, that's awesome. That made up for it. We loved Benford's tape. So like the late rounds made up for some of the like, what the hell did he do in the 3rd round? He did the same thing in the 3rd round this year, and I'm like, okay, I'm looking for that. Okay, great. We made up for it in the late rounds.
Right, exactly.
I didn't see that this year. I'm like, what the fuck is
right?
This?
You're looking for another Shakir, another right. I get it. A
Benford. Yeah. Like I don't, you know.
DeMar Hamlin,
I guess Shorter.
Remember the year before?
Yeah, we were stoked when we got DeMar. Yeah. We liked Dane Jackson when we got him in the 7th too. We saw him. We saw his tape. And we're like, he's going to be a solid pro. He may not be special, but he's going to be solid. And a 7th round pick that can make the roster and give you depth, great. I don't think any of these guys make our freaking team.
Well, obviously the first
Shorter,
the first 3 picks will. The first 3 will.
Yeah, they will. But okay,
Justin,
so now that
Justin
puts us
Shorter's
at a number.
He's interesting. Yeah, I don't think he makes a team.
Okay.
I think he makes a practice.
Let's go to Dorian Williams.
Yeah.
Let's go to the linebackers just real quick. We have Milano, who's going to make the team, right? And then we have Williams that we just drafted. We have Bernard, who we drafted last year. So there's 3. Right. Then we have Dotson, Klein, Matakevich, and Spector. So we have 7 linebackers for 5 spots.
And I actually want to see more of Spector. I'm not saying Spector could be, you know, oh my God, but he played really well in preseason. He was probably the one of the few bright spots we had in preseason because we didn't see many players play in preseason. We didn't have a lot, you know, Kyrie Elam didn't really, I don't think he even played, did he, in preseason? So
I'll get to that, Triggs.
Yeah. So anyways, I don't know, man. I just feel like, listen, the first 3, I think they're going to find some. They're not going to stash them. They can't. They won't, Mikey. He's going to.
He's going to play special teams.
Yeah,
we can't. They're not picking on special teams player.
Right. The rest, though, they're going to have to freaking beat out somebody. Right? They're going to have to earn it and beat somebody in camp. That's plain and simple. Because even Shorter
not beating out anybody.
I know he's not. Just like we said with Luke Tenuta, he's not going to beat anybody. We knew that. But I'm just saying that's the only chance these guys have. I have no idea what to tell you. Like that's it. These guys aren't making the squad unless they beat somebody out. You know what I mean? But you still never know. There could be a guy of surprises. Christian Benford.
When Matt Milano was drafted, I'm like, what the hell are we doing with this converted safety? Yeah. And then he impressed the hell out of me. So I want to quickly get to Triggs. He's like,
go ahead.
Triggs said, Torrance is a fantastic as long as they don't fucking try to play him at tackle. Did you hear Bean? We're going to start him at guard.
That's terrible. He knows better. I don't know why he would say that.
He should go right into right guard
Right.
and leave his ass there.
I saw that somebody tweeted that. That he said that. I'm like, no. That would be. I would be so pissed.
Someone asked if he played tackle, and he's like, "We're going to start him at guard."
Yeah, and he said,
"Don't say you're going to start him guard. No, he's going to play guard." That's what you're saying. No,
Right.
he's going to play guard. Don't say we're going to start him at guard. No, he's just going to play guard.
Yeah, like I don't mind if Bean would have came
All-American guard in college.
Right. Why would you even
consensus All-American?
Right. Why would you even like think about that? Like he's not a tackle.
I'm grumpy today, Tommy.
No, it just doesn't make sense. Like I wouldn't mind if he just came out and said, "Listen, Torrance gonna, have to earn this spot. He's gonna have to earn the right." Fine, I'm good with that. You know what I mean? He's gonna have to earn that spot. Fine, but don't do the whole Cody Ford thing over again. Don't act like you see him in a different position when this guy's clearly was the best guard coming out of college. Why the hell would you even entertain the idea of throwing him anywhere else? Right? What are you doing? What are you talking about?
You put him right into right tackle where he's played.
That's not going to
let
happen.
him go.
That won't happen. I'm going to tell you right now. He might have said that, but that won't happen, Mikey. I promise you.
Okay.
He's flat-footed.
Okay. Well,
Number one.
Listen, yeah.
He doesn't even get. It's not going to happen.
He played a little bit of right tackle his freshman year.
Very
he moved into guard and he never left.
Yes. Correct.
I think he only played there 25 snaps or something like that.
Yeah,
probably to get him out of a game. It's probably to get him out of a game.
It's not going to happen.
But Scott Blakely comes in and has probably the best comment ever. That was the strangest draft ever. I did not understand the draft. It's just odd. It's an odd draft.
It is a very odd draft. Very odd. I mean, starting with the first round pick. I mean, and listen, I get there's a lot of other, because I've been wanting to see what other Bills podcasts think of this pick.
I've watched them all.
And most of them, I would say, at least that I've seen, love him. Love the pick. Love the pick. I'm on the fence. I'm still on the fence. I love the player, but I'm on the fence because I just don't believe in this until I see it. I don't believe it. You know what I mean? Like what this offense is about. Using 2 tight ends correctly. We don't even use 1 correctly. Now you're gonna use 2 correctly, like you know what I mean?
I don't use the one we paid $50 million to correctly.
Right, and what does he do now? Now he's just. Now, hey, sorry, Knox, man. You're probably not going to see a lot of the catches anymore. It's going to go to this Kincaid now. Like, now you got this high-paid tight end in Knox, who's going to be what? The blocking. Like, I don't get it.
Knox will play the traditional X, so he'll play what he has been. We're not going to see his role expand. I think that's the frustrating part.
Exactly.
His role is going to be what it has been, because now we're going to see Kincaid go into the slot. And play more of a receiver position and take away the middle of the field. And it's just
correct.
Like, why do we pay Knox $50 million?
Yeah, I will say this now. Now that I go back, that was a bad extension. Bad extension.
It could be.
No, I think it is.
That extension.
I love the guy.
It cost us Edmonds.
Yeah, I love the guy. Honestly, Mikey, he's a great teammate. Him and Josh are like almost best friends. Like, and he's not a bad player. It's just, I think maybe we overpaid. We overpaid for a guy that maybe we got a little excited for because he had the 8 touchdowns the year before, right? Mm-hmm. I also think he had a rough offseason with his brother passing away. I'm not saying, I'm not saying that's why Bean gave him the extension, but it did come right after that. It was odd timing. Nobody saw that coming, by the way. Nobody saw last year Knox getting that extension. That came out of left field. So I don't know. I think that's going to wind up biting him in the ass, bro. Unless Knox winds up performing. I mean,
it won't bite us forever. It won't bite us.
No, not forever. It's just
it's the next 2 years. We can't get out of it. After the 2 years, we can't. Scott Blakely comes in and says, "Watch, this is going to be the best draft ever." And we're going to go back and look at this thing. Man, what the fuck
I hope.
Thinking? And dude, I pray to God that's the case. I will take the L's all day long.
I will eat crow. Dude, I would love it. no problem.
I just cannot see what we were trying to do. I don't understand. I'm not envisioning what they're seeing.
Right.
With a class like this.
I've been right and wrong on almost every draft, so who knows, I was wrong on the Jets running back. I thought he was not going to, so, and I'll eat crow on that all day. I'm like, no, stay away from Breece Hall. I don't want him. No way.
Yeah, I was wrong on Breece Hall. You know what? I was wrong on ETN too. Although ETN does get hurt a lot, and that was one of my concerns.
He does. He does get hurt.
His ability to stay healthy. But he's been really good running back. I was really wrong on Breece Hall. I did not see it, and he played fantastic last year until he got hurt.
And I love DK Metcalf coming out. I was all for the Bills drafting him, and we wound up taking Cody for it. So, a lot of GMs were wrong about DK, by the way. It wasn't just me.
Donnybrook comes in, and welcome, Donnybrook. Thanks for hopping on, buddy. He says, I like
our chat's not working.
Broker
Sorry,
kid. Yeah, he buries people. My only issue with the broker kid is they say he's going to be a 5-position player, but he has really short arms, so he's not going to be able to play the tackle jobs. So now he's going to get shoved inside as an interior guy, and we're already log jammed with interior prospects. I don't see his path to making the roster. He can be a badass. Maybe he takes Bakker's spot. Maybe he's the new Bakker. Maybe. But
we
just signed McGovern, and we gave him $21 million over 3 years.
McGovern's not going anywhere, right?
Yeah, we still have Bates for a few years, who's probably going to be our flex guy, because I don't think they're going to be able to keep Torrance out of the lineup. I think he's going to come in and just take that right guard spot right off the top. He's just too talented.
No, dude, Mikey, come on, man. If he gets beat out by Ryan Benson, we made a bad selection. And he's not the guy. He's gonna be.
Well, my concern.
I would be shocked if he doesn't.
Yeah, my concern is the same thing that we were yelling for Bates. They have their guys that they love, that they like to play, regardless of what the person's doing in front of them.
Yeah, I know, I get it, but I think with Cromer, I think with Cromer, I think Cromer will fine tune him. Okay, work with him. He is a second-round pick. He's really a first-round pick that slipped to the second round. And I think Cromer will fine-tune him into one of the best right guards in the league, in my opinion. And I think Ryan Bates will be exactly what we need him to do, which will be a guy waiting in the wing for in case a guy goes down, and he can fill in any position. And then when Mitch Morse retires, if we don't draft a center, very possible Ryan Bates is our center in the future.
Or McGovern, either one, because they both have center experience.
Yeah. But I'm just throwing that out there. So
either one would work. They're both signed here a while, so I'd be okay with either one. McGovern played center in college. I think Bates' best spot in the pros is center. So looking here, Bean's on the podium now, so I'll go back and watch that after that. MT Page comes in and says, we better sign Miles Jack. You know what? I would love us to sign Miles Jack.
Absolutely.
Bring that guy in here.
I would give him an opportunity.
Let us sign Miles Jack.
Why not? Give him a vet,
give me some kind of hope at middle linebacker.
Yeah, a guy that has
any
experience.
Kind of hope at middle linebacker.
100%. Why not? I mean, what's the worst case? You sign him, and if he doesn't work out in camp or he's not what you expected, you cut him. You lose a little bit. We've done that so many times. We signed O.J. Howard last year. Lost money. Just throwing that out there. Like, yeah, go ahead and get Miles Jack. Get a veteran. If you don't trade for like a Bush or something like that,
Yeah. Well, Bush just signed a 1-year deal somewhere, this year. So
did he wind up? Okay.
Yeah,
I saw the comment about our offensive lineman throwing beach chairs. Yeah.
It is our offensive. Our my coach Cromer throwing beach chairs. Got a little intoxicated and chucked some beach chairs.
Not happy. Trying to take his beach chair. That's funny.
I like the comment Triggs had. He says he would love it if a Shorter turns into a Brandon Marshall or a prime Josh Gordon. He has that kind of physical ability. We just haven't seen him consistently put it together. So hopefully in Buffalo, that's the lottery ticket that we were scratching when we drafted Shorter. He has that kind of upside.
Correct. But like I said, he has a lot of red flags. And the red flags are are alarming.
Injuries, which keeps you off the field.
I mean, he's been injured
no
so
college
much.
production.
Yeah, like he's been injured since he stepped on the field in college.
Hopefully, coming into Buffalo with our world class, program, because they've won awards for our program. They can help him stay healthy.
Yeah, we'll see. Yeah, no awards last year were given.
No.
Well, no, I take that back. There was for DeMar Hamlin.
Yes,
I take that back.
They saved DeMar Hamlin's life.
I take that back. We got an award for, but everybody else. We had bad luck last year with injuries. I will say that was a string of just awful bad luck, man.
Shorter also had Anthony Richardson throwing him the ball, but Anthony Richardson isn't the greatest thrower of the ball. He's a crazy athlete at quarterback. He still needs to learn a lot of the actual quarterback stuff.
Yeah. I mean, from what the film I saw, and I'm going to watch more film on Shorter, I'm telling you, he caught a lot of tough passes from Richardson.
I'll go back. I'll do some more work on Shorter too.
Yeah, like and I like that he's physical, but like I said, once again, the injuries and he had a nasty injury last year. I think it was a concussion. I mean, ambulance and everything. So like, it's just, man, it's concerning. That's the one thing. But if he has work ethic, he can stay injury free. Hey, man, maybe he works out and winds up being a really good receiver in this league.
Maybe he's the Gabe Davis replacement next year.
Very, very possible, because I don't think Gabe Davis is coming back. I don't think they're going to resign him.
He's going to want too much money.
That's what I'm saying. They can't afford it. You know that.
Yeah.
Correct.
So maybe that's the lottery trick they're scratching, is hoping that he can be that Gabe Davis. Yeah.
I am curious about why they loaded up on so many 6 rounds, though. Very curious, because I almost feel like they're using that for trade.
We're gonna have 10 picks next year. We're gonna have 10 picks next year. We're gonna have a first, a second, 2/3 because of the comp pick for Edmonds.
Right.
A 4th, a 5th, and 3 6ths and a 7th.
Right. That's what
I'm saying. So maybe we use some of that to go get D-Hop.
I'm done talking about player trades because it's not going to happen. Like I every time I get a little like tricked, right? Excited, and I get tricked again. Even though I said I'm not going to fall for it, I get sucked back in by these reports, right? By what's his name? The guy on Pac-Man. Oh, he's going. Okay. Oh,
my source says.
Yeah. Oh man, D-Hop baby, nothing. Zilch. And like I said, though, I won't blame Bean on that one, because it seems like the GM for the Cardinals is playing.
Yeah, I don't think it's Bean.
And I don't think it's Bean at all. Exactly. On this one, though, there's been plenty of trades that we were rumored, and it was definitely a trade that Bean could have pulled off for a 3rd round, a 5th round, like for a top player. Like Bean is very gun shy. So we'll see. But I think on the D-Hop situation, he did the right thing, I think, right? I believe. And he's going to now wait for the Cardinals to sweat it out, because I think D-Hop's going to play okay, I'm not going to play for you guys. I'm going to force your hand. And then the Cardinals are going to have to take probably less than what they wanted initially. Or D-Hop, or they're going to play it hardball with D-Hop and say, okay, you don't want to play, you're not going to get paid. So it's going to be very interesting. That is an interesting.
It will be an interesting, because Bidwell is a notorious cheap owner, and without their quarterback, because Murray's not going to be back. He got hurt late in the season.
Oh, I know.
He's going to miss most of next year, if not all of next year.
Right.
They don't have a team that's going to be competitive going into next year. Is he really going to pay D-Hop $19 million to not help his team win? That just seems odd.
It does.
Yep.
It will be interesting.
Linda West comes in and says she loves the pick. She loves all the picks. She loves the class. Okay. I would love to be. I would love to be more excited about this class. I just don't see the path for 4 of the 6 picks to playing time.
Yeah,
that's all.
Yeah, I agree. Like we talk about some of these players. It's not the players that we don't like. Now there is some I don't like, right? There's some that I'm like, it's why we picked them and where are they going to be at? How are we going to use them? Right. Mm-hmm. And once again, going back to our picks, the linebacker, I mean, where are we going to put him? Like, it just doesn't make sense. I just don't understand it because I don't know, Mikey, like you tell me what, where do we put him? Like, where does he go?
Who?
The linebacker, Dorian Williams. Where does Dorian Williams?
They're gonna let him. Bean already said it. He's gonna fight Bernard for backup role to Milano. So we have 2 third-round picks fighting for a backup spot.
Right.
Which is why I'm frustrated. Like, where is the path? We wasted a pick.
Right. That's what I'm talking about. And the other guys, like I said, once again, I don't think the 7th round guys are gonna. I'll be honest with you, I don't think they're gonna make the team. I just don't. Unless one of them balls out and proves me wrong, and that's cool, and I'm really happy for it.
The only Broker's one way he can make this team is to get on the inside and knock Bakker out of become the new Bakker.
Right.
Rotational guy who could play multiple positions. That's his hope to the roster. Be better than Bakker. But Bakker's been with this coaching staff for 6 years now. They love him.
Right.
It's gonna be hard to beat him out because they know what he is and they love him. Alex Austin, he's just coming to a crammed room. I feel bad for that guy.
Yeah, Alex Austin.
But go out there, put he's going to learn from really good coaches who do a really good job of teaching these young guys. Put good tape out there and go get yourself a job on another roster.
Exactly. And Nick Broker's not making the team. Justin Shorter is probably a practice squad guy. I don't think I think they're going to hold on hope for him. He's going to be like, and hopefully he works out. Marquez Stevenson. So Marquez Stevenson, I believe, also was a 6th round pick.
Shorter was a 5th though.
5th, okay, but either way, so late round pick. But you're right, 5th round. Sorry, but Marquez Stevenson was a 6th, but they had high hope for him. I had high hope for him. I thought Marquez had potential, but once again, Marquez kind of had an injury thing in college, and he had an injury thing in the NFL, and with his foot. And he just cannot stay healthy. Because I think if Marquez could have stayed healthy, very possible they would have given him an opportunity as like a returner to see again what he had. Because he had flashes. We saw him do a punt return for a touchdown, but then he got hurt. He actually got hurt on that touchdown. So it's like.
So I want to hit Scott's question here and says, I still don't understand. So the rookies that go on the practice squad, are they protected? No, they're not. If we release the rookies, they are open. Yep.
Wide open.
Anybody on the practice squad is open to be poached.
Spin. Weipler was there. Yes, I know. My guy, the guy I wanted.
Makes me
pissed
sick
me off,
to think
bro.
about that.
I thought for sure, man, when he was sitting there that they would, because I think if they got Weipler, once again, I still would have questioned this draft, but I would have been like, all right, I get that pick. That's a solid pick, right? Because that Morse is probably his last year, more than likely. Now you got his replacement. No problem, right? He can sit back. He can learn from Morse. You know what I mean? Perfect. But now, you just let it go. You trade away your – I don't get it. He was sitting there, man. He was one of the better centers in the league. Ronnie Hickman would have been a great pickup late. Sitting there, safety. Had a good career in Ohio. I don't get it. I just don't understand it. There was guys on the board still.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Mike.
So there's two things. One, the Weipler thing, he was there. But when we took Dorian Williams, so was Sayaki Ika, who's a one-tech, big giant body out of Baylor. Yeah, he would have been perfect to put behind Daquan to learn from. But then there was a question that came in and says, do you guys think Thompson, which I think he means Dodson, will be the week 1 starter besides Milano? No, I think it's going to be Klein and Milano.
Yeah,
unless we go and sign like a Miles Jack or a Cunningham or a Deion Jones or one of those veterans that are still out there. I think it's gonna be. I think it's gonna be Klein that starts next to him. I don't think Dotson. Dotson's been around for a lot of times.
Yeah.
He just hasn't. He just hasn't.
No, Mike.
Yeah.
I see Dotson and Klein rotating a lot, man. I don't think I think it's going to be kind of almost situational.
See, like, I think Klein's going to see more of the rundown linebacker, and then I don't even think it's going to be Dotson. I think we're going to bring Taylor Rapp in and play more dime this year than we played.
You're right. I forgot about Taylor Rapp. That's an interesting pickup. Now that you're mentioning, because I totally forgot about him. He can play that linebacker spot, come down and play, and he's actually pretty good at it. That's the
slot because he can play the other side.
The slot.
So you put Milano in the middle. You have Johnson and Rapp in the slots with your corners on the outside and your two safeties, and we play more of a dime in passing situations. So I can see it being a hybrid between Klein and Rapp, or they put Rapp deep and they bring down Poyer. However they want to do that disguise stuff. You have three safeties that will bring onto the field to play with.
Well, hey, man, remember, Mikey, this is McDermott's first official season as DC.
Play caller, yeah.
Right. It's
I love this Carolina defense.
So this is what he wants. Right. But my point is, he had opportunities here to grab some defensive help, right? Interior help. Did not do that. Yeah. Right. He's a defense. So he must have a plan somewhere. Right. I'm just throwing that out there. Because there ain't no way that he didn't have some kind of say in this draft.
They have some kind of plan. I just don't see it.
Well, you're going to see it. Week 1.
God, my God. Damn it. You know what? It's gonna be a fun offseason, brother.
Yeah, I know. Anything from the chat before we go? Because once again, chat, I am so sorry that I'm not highlighting your but it's the streaming service.
Yeah, they didn't come through for some reason.
They are not. Yeah. So anything late in the chat before we go?
Spence said just get D-Hop and then our offense will. Yeah, we hope so. Could Williams play the Hassan Reddick role? What Williams are you talking about? Are you talking about Dorian Williams? Dorian Williams, honestly, if we used one of those backers, I would rather use Trinell Bernard. He's more of a blitzer than Dorian Williams is. Dorian Williams actually has a really good coverage ability. I could, if we wanted to play a positionless type of football, I could see a world where we use Dorian Williams and Matt Milano together in a coverage package. But if we were to use Dorian Williams, we might as well use Taylor Rapp, who's a better cover guy.
Correct.
At that point, you might as well bring, So, could they? Yes. Do I think they're going to? No. I will be very interested to see what McDermott dials up. Because he used a lot of simulated pressures in his days and brought guys from all over the place.
I am interested. I think, man, I'm going to tell you right now, Mikey. This is a big thing for McDermott because I'm going to be honest with you. If McDermott going to the season, first of all, it's a challenge. He has to be a head coach and a play caller, right? So he has to worry about the defense, which is fine. But, love him or hate him on Frazier, he was a very good DC. He just did things that frustrated us at times, but he had a solid defense. Players loved him. Very curious if this defense doesn't wind up working out under McDermott, if McDermott is messing himself up as head coach, because you know how that goes. He's taking on a big, a big role here now. I'm just throwing that out there because the defense slips is my point, and we wind up not being even right, like in that top 10, like top 5.
I think he has to take it. I think he's on the hot seat.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I mean. It's all you ever see head coaches and they're like, okay, all right, we'll give you the GM.
Mike McCarthy in Dallas, perfect example. He had to take the offensive before he gets booted.
Let's see what you got. Right? Yeah, you want your. In basketball, I think head coaches. Yeah. They say, okay, you want to bring your own guys in? I'll let you be president and head coach. Isaiah Thomas got fired. Like it's not like okay.
Joe Dumar's gone.
Yeah, you want to do it? Go ahead. So this is a challenge for him, and it better work out. boy, because I believe he is on the hot seat. He is on the hot seat, and
I don't know if it's burning, but he's feeling the heat.
No, it's not burning, but it will be if this defense doesn't perform well. And we're talking in the offseason again about why we didn't draft this guy or why our defense was soft again.
Why didn't we get someone to replace Milan or Edmonds? Why didn't we go and get a better defensive tackle to help? Why didn't we? Then we have a lot of questions, Oliver walking out the door, and we wasted our all-pro safeties. We're wasting our generational quarterback is prime. Stephon Diggs. We have a team built for it.
A lot of pressure, man. He has a lot of pressure going to 2023, guys. I'm gonna tell you
does.
Because I'm gonna be shredding.
I think Brandon Beane's on the hot seat with him. I think they're both on the hot seat. I really do. Because they're tied together.
They are tied together. I don't know about Brandon Beane though. I think McDermott would be the one in my eyes that would have to go if we don't perform well next season, because I've never been a fan, Mikey, of a defensive minded head coach. Just not a fan of it. It doesn't really work out most of the time. And I almost feel like if we had, if it doesn't work out and I think if Beane goes out and gets an offensive minded head coach and it still fails, then Beane will go. You get what I'm saying? Then I could see Beane getting fired. But I think right now this lies on McDermott. And I think the whole Frazier thing, I think Beane, that was a test from Beane going, okay, you want to you think it was Frazier? You think you could do better?
I think he's Beane and the owners, because he doesn't report to Beane.
That's what I mean, Beane and the owners. Right.
Yeah.
Right.
I think it comes from the owners, like, okay.
Right. That 13-second thing, I'm telling you, that stung. I think they know it.
Still sitting over him.
And then you go ahead and improve your D line, right? Last year, right?
Bring in Von Miller,
Jordan Phillips, right? Von Miller, Jordan Phillips, Daquan, Settle, and then we get beat in the trenches in a playoff game, like it's
against a backup offensive line,
right? It's embarrassing.
Against a backup offensive line,
right. So,
oh my God, that makes me make me throw up.
So now I think it really is boiling down to, okay, you know what? The owners are like, dude, is it Frazier? Okay. Frazier, take a seat for a little bit. Let's see what McDermott can do here. And McDermott, boy, oh boy, he better have a plan.
We'll find out. We got a few months. To tweak this roster. The roster doesn't have to be finished today, but it will have to be finished by week 1. So he's got a couple months.
Yep. And look for players to be cut, surprise cuts around the league that we could potentially pick up. So it's not over yet. You know how that goes, Mikey. I don't expect any trades for players, but I do expect players to be cut. That might be some surprise cuts. You know what I mean? I mean, there was even the rumor that Cook's going to be cut for Minnesota. Was thrown out there. So I'm just saying there could be surprise cuts that Beane could swoop in and grab a linebacker that is a surprise cut, and you go, damn, that dude's on the market. Go get him. You know what I mean? And then, okay, that solves that problem.
Chicago drafted another linebacker. Yeah, they drafted another linebacker when they brought in a few linebackers. So it'll be interesting to see how that all plays out.
So let's see how listen, offseason's a long offseason. So let's see what happens. But anything else?
Man, the chat is ripping Beane right now.
Yeah, it's gonna happen.
I mean, okay. And MT Page comes in and says Beane's drafts besides Allen have been horrible. We found starters in every one of his drafts. It hasn't been horrible. He's missed on a lot of high profile, mainly second and third round picks, which we're praying to God Torrance fixes that. But Dorian Williams, another third round pick that he's going to be, just going to be in a backup role. He's not going to play. So
No, you can keep going. I just want to, even though we can't see it, I think they could still do it on their end. I think it'll still show up. So you guys see that, right? You see that in the thing, Mikey? So Mikey, actually put your grade in the chat since you're on there anyways.
In my grade?
Yeah. On the chat. I want to see if it pops up. So, guys, just one answer.
Great.
So A through F. Very curious if it pops up on here. It may not because I don't see the chats on my end. Yeah.
I did. Nothing's coming through.
Nothing. Okay, yeah. So sorry, guys, but go ahead and put your grades anyways.
Yeah.
So and Mikey can read.
Tell me what you grade this draft class. I gave him a C because I really liked the first two picks. I love Kincaid. I just don't. I have very little faith that Dorsey will know how to use them. I need to see it before I can believe it.
Wow.
Trek likes this one.
Yeah. You gave, what did you give it?
Bunch of C's. C. I gave it a C.
C. I'm going to give it a. I'm going to give it a B minus. Almost C plus. But I'm going to say B minus.
Whoa.
Only. Yeah, I know. But that's because.
Whoa.
That's because the Osiris thing is got me a little.
that was your guy from like day one.
Right. I called it. I was screaming it since February.
And not only that, but you've listened to me for 3 months now tell you how he doesn't fit the Bills.
I know.
Why I didn't think he would be picked.
No way. Right. Yeah.
I'm like, I cannot. There's nothing I see about him that makes me want to think that the Bills would take him.
Right.
Granted, I didn't know about all the visits that Justice shared with us.
Neither did I. I knew he had a couple. I didn't know he had 5.
Yeah, I need to follow Dean a little bit more on a lot of that stuff to truly check that stuff out.
Yep.
To find out, because if I would have known that, I would have been screaming for Torrance too. I just didn't think he fit their archetype because he's not the archetype of what Cromer likes.
Right. So, yeah, I'll give it a B minus.
All right, brother.
All right, man. So guys,
you got an A from Trek, a bunch of C's, a B from Scott Blakely, a B from Troy. After the second round, A plus, but that doesn't include the rest of the picks. The first 2 rounds, he gives it an A plus. After that, he doesn't count those picks.
Yeah, I'll go. B
I like the first 2 rounds.
Reason why 2 B minus 2 just for me real quick is the Torrance. Obviously, here's a big reason: the first 2 picks that we had were steals in a way because Kincaid was a top 10, top 15 pick. Fell all the way to 25. I kind of feel like we stole him there. He was not supposed to go that far down in the draft. And then Osiris Torrance was graded the best guard coming out in the league in the college.
He was supposed to be,
and he was the first round
20 and yeah.
So for us to get him in the second round, so I have to give that a B minus because we got guys that and we didn't get impatient. Like we got a little impatient for the tight end, but I don't know if that's so bad if he's a top 10 player and you moved up. You know what I mean? Because he would have got Dallas would have got him. You know, they already said it. Everybody knows Dallas. That was Dallas guy. The Cowboys would have taken him. So I'll give it a B minus. And the guy short, I think, has potential if he could stay healthy. So everybody else just is a head scratcher for me. So, anyways, guys, that's
Big Timers Club. Yeah, Big Timers Club comes in and says Michael Mayer's better than Dalton Kincaid. Michael Mayer is a better all-around tight end than Dalton Kincaid. Kincaid was the best pass catcher in the entire draft. He was a better pass catcher than the receivers that were out there.
Right.
He is true. If we don't use him as a tight end and we use him as a slot and detached as more as a wide receiver type, he will do better. He was a top 15 prospect in this year's draft. But from a true tight end perspective, yes, I'll give you. Mayer was a better all-around tight end.
Yeah, I agree with that too. Right. All right, well, we're out of here, man. Once again, I apologize for the comments, man, that Mikey had. Thank you, Mikey, for reading them. Normally they pop up, and they just didn't tonight. So, guys, we love you.
That's fine.
We'll be back. Next Friday.
Chat.
Yeah, chat. I appreciate your patience with us. Everything. We'll be back next Friday at 8:30, and we won't have this problem again. So, until next time, Bills Mafia rule and go Bills.
Go Bills.